The Vikings are warriors known for beards, pillaging and burning stuff down, but they were also farmers, traders and explorers. And the Vikings went everywhere, north, south, west, east. If there was a city to burn, the Vikings would show up. Being a Viking was just a job, which meant technically they could quit and switch careers. It says here you attacked and burned 10 cities. Why should we hire you as our math teacher? I can count to 10. You're hired. Despite all the burning and pillaging, people in Scandinavia loved the Vikings for being really good farmers. They loved the Vikings so much that for the first 4 years of my elementary school, we had Viking Day every single year. And on that day, we could act like Vikings. So we could invade homes, we could steal stuff, and we could attack other people. No. You can't do that. Why not? It's Viking Day. Yeah, but no violence is allowed. Aww. And no weapons. Aww. Before Viking Day, we obviously needed gear, but since none of us owned Viking clothes at home, we had to make it ourselves. We made the tunics and helmets with horns. Actually, Viking helmets didn't have horns. Okay, fine, we made accurate helmets. Well, the tunics were made out of potato bags and the helmets were made out of paper. So, yeah, we looked like trash. On the big day, we were split into teams and sent into the forest for a scavenger hunt. Along the path, there were multiple choice questions hanging from trees. And if you answer every question correctly, you will end up with the correct password. At the end of the forest, there will be guards. If you had the correct password, you got to come in and rest. But if you got it wrong, they send you all the way back to correct your answer. The first few years, I was always put into groups with people who knew more than me about the Vikings. So I will not put any effort in it. My team would carry me. But last time we had Viking Day in elementary school, I was teamed up with the only guy who knew less about the Vikings than me. And I was really mad about it. The teacher basically put the two worst Viking experts together, which felt really unfair. So this time, I really had to put my effort in it. We went through the forest and answered all the questions. No, actually, I answered the questions. The other guy was basically stalking me. When we reached the end of the trail, I was met with 2 guards standing. So I took out the paper and read the word we got out so they would let us in. Börja if bacon if jag rullar men if widba. Well, actually, yeah, sure, it's correct, come in. I think we had the wrong word, but the teachers felt bad to let us go back to fix our mistake. But I don't care, now that we got into the rest area, the fun can finally begin. We will then sit on a bench or a big rock and eat our food that our parents made us. Which, you know, I'm not a Viking expert, but I don't think Vikings will sit around after attacking a city and then open their lunchbox and be like, oh yay, my mom made my favorite sandwich. And after eating we will go exploring the place and play tug of war and find berries to eat, and they will be really good, or poisonous. But honestly, that was just the tutorial level, because Viking Day in high school, there was no such thing as resting and eating berries. It was a complete survival test where classes would fight and then argue about who won. But before the war could start, we had to survive something worse, the assembly. The assembly was a meeting with all the classes in the gym hall. Then the teachers will put on a show for us students to watch. And I have to say, every year I was there, the shows were always bad. It's like the whole play was made by a bunch of babies. Like nothing made sense. Oh, and on our way out, the teacher sprayed us with water guns. Which, yeah, Vikings definitely did that. After the weird show, the real war will begin. Each class will be put up against another class in a series of Viking challenges. We had the longest chain of clothes match. I only took off my jacket, unlike some other creeps. There was the intense protect the egg match, where each team will destroy the enemy's egg while guarding their own. And then the classic tug of war and the guzzling match. But the most intense battle of them all, the singing contest. Basically, they did play a song, and the first team to guess what song it is will get a point. Now, again, I'm not a Viking expert, but I highly doubt that Vikings settled their fights with a singing battle. I mean, what songs will they even sing? We take the gold, we take the sheep, wake the villagers from the sleep, light the roofs, make them glow. Isn't that a lovely show? Raiding, pillaging, burning down, happy Vikings all around. Sail your ship, laugh and play, that's the Viking way. And then finally, the main event, wrestling. I remember one year the scores were tied, so the fate of the entire Viking day came down to this one match. The arena was a deep pit of wet mud that would swallow you. Seriously. The moment you step in, you sink to your waist. The goal was simple, drown your opponent to the muck until their shoulders touch the dirt, or till they completely sink. Is it safe? No. Now, I was the biggest kid in class, so some expected me to go in, but I looked at the pit of mud and I was like, ew, I'm not doing it. So we sent one of my classmates. Now this boy wasn't just strong, he was built like a boulder. And actually, looking back at it, the boy looked a lot like a boulder. Wait, was my classmate an actual rock? Anyway, my classmate jumped in. The other team sent out a titan. This guy was huge. You needed a ladder to be able to see his face. The match then began, and I honestly thought my classmate was going to be crushed. But miraculously, he won. I was overjoyed. We did it. We won the war. And after witnessing the victory, we obviously had to celebrate. So as a prize, I stole a sheep. Because that's the Viking way. Thank you guys for watching. Those who watched the full video, you guys are awesome. And I just want to apologize for making you guys listen to me sing. That will hopefully not happen again. Make sure to like and share this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. And as always, take care.